Hi, I'm Cassandra Anderson,
And I'm Chantel Colwell.
and this is C
C
Squared.
Squared.
Today we have our guest speaker, Devon Martin. Devon, thank you so much for joining C Squared.
Happy to be here.
Yes, thank you, Devon. Devon is a Ontario artist, and she's here to share with us the art forms that she works on and how she got there, and just share her story with us, basically.
So, Devon, what type of art you got into?
I've always been into everything. I've been recently, within the last couple of years, been painting more. So I've been pursuing that. But I've always been doing pottery. My aunt is a professional pottery artist, so I've always kind of delved into that. My uncle was a commercial painter for a long time. He recently passed away, but he was like a big inspiration to me. He could literally paint anything you wanted. I have like in my room, I would show it, but he replicated like the Little Mermaid, like exactly like just like a Disney animator would in my bedroom. And that was always what I looked at as a kid, being like, I want to be just like him. He can literally draw anything. And that's kind of always been my vibe. Like I've never stuck to one thing. Like I kind of, I like drawing cartoon stuff. I like painting. Like Monet is a big inspiration to me, but so is like animations and whatnot. Like it has no bounds for me. So I've always been kind of diverse that way. I've never been able to niche down.
So when did you first start doing art professionally?
I guess out of once I was done college, I started pursuing art for money. But yeah, it's a struggle. It's not what I do like completely full time. So I think imposter syndrome kicks in, where it's like, is it really professionally? But it is if you're accepting money for it. So I've been doing that for, God, I don't know. It's been, I guess 5 years, 6 years or something. Time's weird.
Nice. Good for you. Good for you.
Thanks.
Can you explain to us how you got involved with the art show? And like, yeah, Cassandra, you know more about that, so you ask her a bit about it.
Yeah, because I saw on Instagram you put on a gallery of art pieces. And so I was hoping that you would be able to tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. I kind of had an early midlife crisis, and I recently departed from the job I worked at for like 8 years. And I was like, I need to this is my time to like figure out what I want to do, like whatnot. And so I would always go to the One of a Kind show with that's the show that I did with my mom and my aunt, who is a professional artist. We would go like every year. And I was just like, what if I did it? Like, what if I was one of these artists kind of thing? So I'm like, well, I'm just going to apply. And then if they say no, then that's fine. Like, I'll move on. So I applied. They wanted like 8 pieces to evaluate you on. And I just decided to do 8 completely new pieces, which I did within a month's time, which was insane looking back on. Don't recommend that. But yeah, I wanted to create a collection that was purely for the show, because I was getting in my head about how like my art is very varied, that I wanted to create something that would be specifically done for the show, so they weren't like confused by who I was as an artist, I guess. So I did 8 completely new pieces that were all kind of within the same vibe, and I submitted those thinking that I was going to get rejected, but they accepted me. I was shocked by that. And then the fear kind of kicked in. And then I got a bunch more pieces ready. And then come November, it was time for the show. So.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a very stressful experience. But it was very educational. I would do it again. I think I'm just a very anxious person, so it was a lot to maneuver, but I'm glad I did it for sure.
Which one was your favorite piece that you created out of the eight of the artwork?
Out of the ones that I completed for the One of a Kind show, there was one called The Flower Garden. It took me like, God, I don't know. I want to say it was like 70 hours or something like that. I remember I pulled a couple all-nighters working on it to get it done in time. So
That's dedication.
but I had a feeling, I don't know, I had a good feeling from the beginning that it was going to turn out how I wanted it to, which I feel like I get that feeling immediately when I started painting that, oh, this is going to be good or this is not going to be good. And I'm usually right with my gut on that. And I just had a feeling that that would be a really good monumental piece for me. So
Was there a time where it took longer to figure out the next piece, what you wanted for the collaboration?
yeah, there were weeks leading up to the show where like I wasn't painting at all and I was just figuring out what to paint. It was very stressful. I still have a bunch of ideas that I wrote down of stuff that could have been part of the collection but didn't end up getting done in time. Like I'm kind of a procrastinator, so I was dragging my butt a little bit, but luckily I pulled it off in the end. But there was a lot of things I would do differently next time to be more prepared.
It was the first time. It's all a learning experience, right? And as someone very wise always said to me, it's all an adventure. So
yeah, that's a good way to get it.
Right? Where do you get your inspiration from? What inspires you the most?
I think that I'm most inspired by stories. I like storytelling. Like I get moved by books and like I love like comics and anime, video games, all that nerdy stuff is kind of what I'm into. But I'm also really big on like landscapes in general, nature. You know, other artists are constantly an inspiration for me. I have like a huge collection of art books that I just peruse all the time too. So I'm like, I'm never not inspired.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any projects that you're considering in the future? Anything new that you're creating right now?
Yeah, I think it's funny because it's kind of like a big shift of what I just did with the art show. I'm kind of like turning my gears into a completely different direction, but I am working on a graphic novel. That's kind of like my biggest dream to accomplish and has been forever. And I think I've just always been avoiding it because it's daunting. So I think I threw myself into the One of a Kind show, which I'm glad I did, but I think it was like I was doing everything else but pursuing this graphic novel thing because I just knew it would be scary. So, but I'm kind of going deep into that now, trying to get it done. I just turned 30. I'm just like, if it's not now, when is it going to happen? So
good for you. I'm excited to see that. You have to keep us updated with it. That's so exciting. Sure. I think that's all the time that we have for today. So thank you so much, Devon, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. I'm Cassandra Anderson.
And I'm Chantel Colwell. This has been
C Squared.